Hello, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Pain of Change with Dr. Clarice. I'm excited because we're going to talk about Valentine's Day. Is it love? Does Valentine's Day define you, define your relationship? I don't know. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that with someone who is really amazing. She's a life coach. Cortne Lee Smith is a student of numbers, instructor of law, and a woman that lives by love. Her life journey has combined all three. At three, she comes to always provide a formula that would allow you to add and or multiply to be more, to bring out the best in others. As a wife again, a widow who married a widower, she is an example of the love after love, living fully and loving unconditionally. The relationship life coach and grief strategist, she empowers the left behind to thrive in the loss of a loved one. COVID birthed a platform to interact with health grief conversations in a variety of ways, enabling one to leave comments and receive feedback, to make those in grief not to have to suffer in silence or feel alone. Miss Cortne educates people to move beyond the could haves and should haves into what will be the new normal as host producer of the Master Relationship Mechanics Show. Welcome, Cortne Lee Smith.
Yay! Dr. Clarice. Woo! I think the pain of change here. We can have some pain today.
You know, when I was reading your bio, I was like, your platform was developed last year. My platform was birthed last year. And when you were talking about you married a widower, we got to talk offline about that and to be able to love again. So when I reached out to you, because I met you through the Signature Entrepreneurs Masterminds group, you know, I was very impressed by an interview that I saw that you had. And I'm like, wow, she would really be a good person to have on the show to talk about grief. But then I realized I was having a show on Valentine's Day. So what would even be better than to have a relationship mechanic? I don't know what that is, but you go explain it. That sounds amazing. So why don't you tell me a little bit? I know I read your bio, but tell me, you know, how this COVID birthed this for you. So you use something that has been very detrimental and not good, but you saw a need.
Yes. And I believe really, and let's clarify. I've been doing the Master Relationship Mechanics show, the actual show. This will be my 5th year. But for COVID, we'll be celebrating our 5th anniversary actually in May for the Master Relationship Mechanics show. It was birthed in 2016, but we actually spun off and started doing healthy grief conversations as part of our grief marketplace ministry, because we wanted to make sure that we weren't reaching people. We were reaching the people right now. This nation is actually mourning. We don't realize a lot of people are grieving, and not just physical death. People are grieving the loss of their jobs. People are grieving the loss of just how things used to be. And we as a society, the sad part is we always tell people normal is coming back. Time will heal everything. Everything will work its way out. But that's a lie we tell people. That's a lie we sell. That's propaganda we give people. And really the Healthy Grief Conversation platform is about telling people, yes, it will change. You need to change. And it's so appropriate when you talk about the pain of change. A lot of times the reason we can't embrace change because we don't want to deal with the pain of actually being processed and becoming somebody new. And that's what we talk about in these conversations. conversations, we tell you what God said, the strategies from the widow woman who had to give her last in order to be multiplied to survive during those 3 years. So it's a lot of things that we just aren't willing to do because we don't want to give up control of trying to get back to the normal.
You know, you know, like I said to you all week, I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I have a lot of amazing guests to come on the show without a doubt, but it's always good to speak to people like-minded and women and men too. But you know, when I talk to you, we just really clicked about things.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
one of the things that I have I should have brought it in here, but I have a hoodie, and it says normal is only a setting found on the washing machine. Okay. And when
Yes,
I saw this hoodie, I bought it because I'm like, I ordered it, and it's actually a brand that Whoopi Goldberg has a clothing line, and it's called something. But anyway, she had this thing that said that. So when we talk about, I mean, everybody thinks, you know, you got the vaccine, now I can start going out and I should start doing everything. No, you can't. You still have to exercise, social distance, and wear a mask because we don't know exactly who will have immunity. I mean, we don't know. We hope this vaccine works. I have the vaccine, but I mean, I haven't tested it out. I haven't went into a crowd of 10,000 people without a mask and then waited 5 days and said, oh, it worked, or like, uh-oh, it didn't work. So with that being said, Valentine's Day, when I asked you for a topic, asked you, could you come and speak on Valentine's Day? And you said, sure, you could. And I said, what would your topic be? You know, and you said, is this love? And I was like, uh-oh, you know, that's going to be a topic for you, right? And when you look at that, why did you pick that as your topic?
Well, for me, experiencing a second relationship, when you spend so much time caught up on these Hallmark holidays, and that's what I'm going to call them, these Hallmark holidays, these national holidays, all of these that were created by man, or these things that are set aside to actually fuse income into our system. That's what they're used for. I mean, between Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's, those holidays are used to infuse income. And if we're not careful, those trappings can actually be a place where we cause our relationships to break down, cause pressure. It can cause actually an opposite effect because we get so caught up in trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to make sure we're putting the right image out, trying to make sure that we give somebody what they want, when every day this type of love and affection should be given to each other. Like for me and my husband, I mean, we have a set amount of affection and love that we express to each other every day, because we don't even know if we're going to make it the next Valentine's Day. So why am I saving the opportunity to give you roses when it's the most expensive time of year to buy them? And how do you know I even like roses? You going out to the store, buying roses, picking up chocolate and teddy bears because they sit it in the middle of the aisle, and really never understood the conversation. What would make these individuals happy? And I'm talking about men, women, however you all are exchanging these gifts. Pressure to have a boo or a babe during this time, or even as single women now, this Valentine's Day that we've created so that we can give ourselves gifts, show ourselves this type of love every day. I mean, every day, love each other. Every week, I go get flowers. There are flowers. I have orchids. I have roses sitting on my desk every week. I don't know if I'm going to make it to next Valentine's Day. I want my roses now.
You know, I didn't have any idea what you were going to talk about. No, but I want to read you a text someone sent me that said that when I told him what my show was going to be about, he said, bring this topic up. He said, okay, he said, along with Valentine's being a commercial holiday for merchants, and how about this? Black women are taught how to live without a man rather than keep one. Now, what do you think about that?
That we're taught how to live without a man?
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree, but
well, and the reason why I won't agree with that, first of all, because I'm a Black woman.
Right.
I think we're raised to the point that we don't need one. I think there's the difference, a need. We should not need each other. We should want to complement each other. We should want to help each other. We should want to be somebody's helpmate. We should be wanting to be their support, their encourager, their covering. But need, the only thing that we should need is love from each other. And that is not this romantic love. I mean, scripture says,
right. Not sexual.
I can love you without living with you, without marrying you, without changing my name. And the thing is, and the first thing men will say is, I don't want a needy woman. But the thing is, but then you do want us to be needy for you. But the thing is, we should all be able to establish our own individual selves and be a whole, complete person that we're not needing and searching. And it says, because that's what happens when we get thirsty as women, when we out here searching and trying to find, we don't find a man, we find our brokenness. So that's why we have to become whole. So when we talk about this commercial holiday that gets us in this place of finding a boo or a bae for a day, we thirsty. We become thirsty. And I certainly disagree that Black women are raised to the point that we don't need men. Because we are raised to respect, we're raised to honor our fathers to begin with. I mean, I love my daddy to death. And I loved my grandfather before he left this world like he was the greatest man who ever lived. And those were who I wanted those attributes to be in a husband. So those attributes are what attracts a woman, but they are not needy. Because we are raised to actually take care of ourselves, thrive as individuals. And I think the problem is men see that as a threat because we are able to thrive and we are able to make it on our own. And they see that as not needing them. No, right. We don't need you. We want you.
Because my dog was barking. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I've heard people say that if a man doesn't need you, that he's not going to keep you. And I was like, okay, but I don't, again, this is a whole different thing. I mean, this is a whole different thing. And this all leads up to this big commercial holiday of Valentine's Day. What does it really mean? You know, I remember the day when I was married or in a relationship, and I can still remember that, even though that's been a long time ago. The people, we would call each other and say, oh, what did your husband buy you? What did your husband buy you? What did your boy, did you get the ring? Did you get the ring? And I feel not only is it a commercial holiday, it's a pressure holiday. You know, people are expected to prove their love. You know, is this a forgiveness holiday? Is this when you have really not demonstrated anything for 12 months, but this is your makeup holiday and you are forgiven by the size or the amount of your gift, because this really proves that you're not the side chick, that you're no longer cheating, or the side guy. I mean, we talk about men cheating all the time, but who do men cheat with?
Women.
We don't ever talk about that. We always talk about men are cheaters. Who do they cheat with?
Yes.
I mean, this is not 1990. This is the third half of the 21st century. And you can Google whatever you can't say you was tricked today. You have to just say, I'm the volunteer, I'm not the victim.
Amen.
Okay. I knew he had a wife. But I'm happy. This makes me happy. But to me, Valentine's Day, when I was married, my husband was raised as Jehovah's Witness. So he did not celebrate holidays. Okay. I did. Okay. He didn't. So what I learned to not be hurt, I would go out and buy whatever I wanted on Valentine's Day with his money. And he was okay with it because he would say, look what I bought the wife. Look what I bought the wife. Because even among the guys, they would talk about, oh, what you buy your wife? What you buy your wife? So it's the pressure of Valentine's Day. So is this love?
The thing is, we have so many love languages, and of course, gifts and affirmation. And the whole thing is, if we're just setting aside this one day, no, it's not love. And if we can go look on people's Instagram, go look on people's Facebooks and people's social medias today, it's 100 videos, millions of videos taken of people's flowers, chocolate, things that they and their boo was doing. You would have never seen pictures of them and their spouses until this day. Some of these people, you didn't even know they were in a relationship until this day. And the thing is, did you not honor and respect them any other day to speak about them except today? So they were only your boo and your bae and your love affirmation of today. And that is a problem. That's a problem that you could not mention them any other day but today. And that's an issue. Is that because you felt like you had to post something that said Happy Valentine's Day because the world did it? Or did you feel like you were pressured to buy a gift or show a gift or do a video or do something because the world said today is the love day? I mean, my thing is, I make sure my husband know I love him every last day, because that might be our last breath. Now, I want people to understand that, because the time that we have together is so very limited. And if you're waiting for another 365 days to pass on your calendar before you can buy somebody a great gift so you can talk to the fellas, or so you can show it off to your girlfriends, or so you all can say that you all have done your act of love for the year. But my whole thing is, I can remember somebody singing, if your husband is not a hero at home every day to you, it does not matter what everybody else thinks on the street. So y'all, people can do all these videos, people can do all of these recording, people can do all these postings, but in your heart, in your home, you know what Valentine's Day does for you. Is it causing you pressure? Is it causing you pain? Is it really causing you disconnect? Because you know this gift is really not meant for you. It's meant to show off to every other person so they can say, hey, did you show so-and-so what I got you? Did you tell them what it was? Did you tell them what we doing? Did you do a recording of it? Because some of your life needs to really be private. Some of those really intimate gifts, some of those things that should not be shared with anybody else anyway.
You know, that's such a great point. And unfortunately, social media has made us all live in a fishbowl. Right? Social media has, I have seen people break up with social media because social media has just taken precedence over our lives, for the bad and for the, in some instances, I mean, it can be positive, but people are defined today by how many likes they have on a post. And what I find is the more foolishness the post is, the more people like it.
Yeah.
The more informational or serious nature of the post, people don't like it or comment on or anything. But if it's something that especially for people that look like me, because I don't have a lot of people that don't look like me as my Facebook friends. I mean, I do have people that are not African American as friends, but I'm just speaking of people that look like me. And it appears that, you know, the more ridiculous a post is, you know, you got 700 likes, you know. But if you're telling someone something serious, things that we should be paying attention to, you know, when one of the women for the impeachment was an African American woman, I think her name was Stacey Plackard, I'm not sure, and everybody was talking about her clothes. The woman was brilliant, brilliant. Listen to her message. Listen to who she is. Google her, wiki her, find out who she is. Does she have an organization? You know, but all of this again goes back to self-love.
Yes.
Self-love. That's what it goes back to, loving ourselves. Valentine's Day is not a bad holiday.
No.
I don't think. I think it's better than Christmas, because Christmas is totally commercial. I mean, there's some people that probably don't even know who Jesus is, that he was born on that day. Okay. So when you coach people, you're a life coach. So during your years of life coaching, what do you speak to your clients about in terms of relationship building? And if you had a client, or if you've ever had a client that has reached out to you because of the fact that Valentine's Day came and went, and her husband, her boyfriend, her fiance didn't acknowledge it. And not only did he not acknowledge it, when she did bring it to his attention, he pretty much echoed what we just said. You know, it's a commercial holiday. It's not an indicator of his love for her, that he's with her every day. He has exemplified all the things that most men don't, as far as she's concerned. But even that being said, she feels a loss, because that for her was the day that, even though all these things this man has said is absolutely correct, she needs that validation.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever experienced that? Or
I've actually had clients, you know, it's more like anniversaries, it's more like birthdays, not specifically Valentine's Day. But I think one thing as women, we don't tell men up front our expectations around particular holidays, because a lot of times most men don't get into them the same way that we do. So we need to really, we have a breakdown in communication. We do a lot of assuming. And then when the day has passed, that is when we like to go out and act like a donkey and show our tails, because we assume that that person knew exactly what it is that we wanted or we expected. And then when we come back, when in the behind the scenes telling our expectations, and we want that person to play catch up, and our feelings are hurt because we did not necessarily get the type of response that we wanted. And the thing is, when I tell my clients, if you did not communicate it, do not be hurt that you did not get it. And everything that you communicate, you will not get. Some things you had to already be giving to yourself. And one of the things, we have to already be giving love to ourselves. I don't sit around waiting for my husband to go get flowers, because I know he don't shop. He's not going into a store to do anything that does not have tools in it. If it's not tools, if it's not gas, he will not be caught dead in that store. So the thing is, I know that. I've known that the whole time I've been married to him. But the beautiful thing is when he goes to a gas station, when he was on the road as a truck driver, he used to bring me cards. He used to bring me magnets. He used to bring me these little mementos to say, hey, I missed you when I was on the road. It was no holiday. It was no anniversary. It was no birthday. It was so I am so glad that I made it back home to you. And that meant the most in the world. Yes, he didn't go out to any specific place to go be fancy or to impress anybody else. It was his true emotions he was expressing. And as women, if you wanted flowers, get some sent to you and put your husband's name on the card. And like you said, use his card so you don't feel like you bought it for yourself if it makes you feel better. And let him understand that you are buying a gift from him. And most any man would be like, okay, I don't have to go shopping. I don't have to figure out what you want. And this is going to make you happy. And those are the conversations we really have to have as women. And men who are on the line, if you have that thing that you want and you want to be celebrated on that day, because men need that affirmation, men want to be loved, men want flowers, men want their things on this side of the dirt as well. They want to be loved and they want to be cherished. Understand these conversations must be had, but first, make sure you are already doing those things for yourself first. Don't expect anybody to treat you better than you already treat yourself.
That should be your next book. Don't expect, stop it. Stop expecting people to do for you that you can't do or won't do for yourself. You know, I was on the metro, the train, and it was a guy that came on the train with a bike. He brought his bike on the train, and then of course gets off at his stop and rides it. He had some flowers, this beautiful bouquet of flowers. And I told him, that is so nice. I was just so full. If this guy, this little guy who had gotten off of work and bought his wife some flowers. And I posted that on Facebook. And I was stunned at the women who laughed at him. Laughed at, he was on a bike and he had the flowers. And I guess I thought I made him feel good. He didn't speak English well, but I said, "Is this for your wife?" He said, "Yes, it's for my wife." I said, "It's your birthday?" He said, "Oh no." He said, "I buy these. I want her to know I love her." I mean, I know I shouldn't say this, but I'll take the man on the bike. Let's go bring me some flowers. Why not? What's wrong with that? But again, our expectations sometimes could keep us away from the great God. It keeps us away from the guy. You know, we want the guy sometimes with the suit and tie and the letters behind his name and blah, blah, blah. And we overlook sometimes the guy with the toolbox. Okay. The guy that's your relationship machine and got the tools to work with it. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Right. And to your point, you have a different lens on this. See, reading your bio puts you on a whole nother level because you and your husband both experienced something very similar.
Yes.
Loss of spouses. So when I hear you say over and over again, life is short, nothing's promised tomorrow, life is short. I've heard you say that several times. But you're speaking from not COVID times.
No.
You're speaking from being married, being in a relationship, and watching your husband die and him watching his wife die. and learning from that experience. Because there may have been things in that marriage that when your husband passed, you realize that this could not have saved him from passing away, of course. But if you ever got a chance again, some of the things that you may have done or not done or accepted or should have accepted, you're going to look at things a whole different way. That's what I hear. Because I hear that and I see that in your face. I read faces, you know, I teach and I read faces and I watch my students and I know when they lying, I know when they're doing good, I know when they're doing everything and they go like, oh, that's Kevin. Ah, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So I know when they're on the internet shopping, when they should be paying attention to my lecture. But my point is that I see that. I see this passion. And what a better person to speak to being a life coach and a relationship coach, because we always run into people. I'm a business coach and people said, like I said, I'm not a life coach. I'm a business coach. And even though doing a business coach with a person, being strategic, there is some life coaching there, but that's not my area of expertise because I don't think I can speak to that. Well, you certainly can. You can speak of Valentine's Day and certainly come up with a topic like, is this love? Because in the bottom line is if this day is love to you, what would you say? If I say to you, well, you know what, Cortne, I don't care what you say. I feel like, because I got to do, right. I feel like if my man don't set it out for me on Valentine's Day, that I'm not saying that this defines my love, but I'm gonna say it's gonna define a whole lot of activity or non-activity if I'm not getting what I feel. So how would you? Because that's a realistic. Maybe I was kind of over the top, but
it is. It's very realistic. I don't think just for women. Men have become where they have these expectations on these holidays as well, because we have promoted this. But I want to say, especially in this COVID season, a holiday should not be love. A holiday should not be love, because the thing is, if you put so much hype in one day, what do you expect out of the person the next 364 days? Do you expect the same level of expression? The thing is, because once somebody has put something out, can you keep this up? I can remember a real short time that I was single in my life. And I can tell you honestly, men who did all the most lavish things in the world, they automatically got scratched off my list, because I know you can't keep this level up. I know you can't do this. I know we can't go to the Ritz-Carlton or we can't go to Four de Chao every evening. And if you think about it, that's groceries for me. I'm going to eat good if I fix it at home. So I have a priority check with myself, because if you asking your husband or your mate during this COVID season, when you should already be being very strategic about your funds, very strategic about what you're doing, and they might set it out for you and you be set out on the road next month. So be careful that the pressure that you're giving, you don't have priorities on being taken care of for the later as well. It's great to get some flowers, but do you want your husband to spend $200-300 on some roses for this holiday, when that could be your groceries, that could be a light bill, that could be a water bill? That's what I'm saying. We got to get our priorities in order. Men, women, when we are pressuring somebody to get us something, somebody to set it out, lay it out, be to the level, understand what your household can withstand, and really have those conversations with your mate. It does not take all of that to express love. If we really go back to what the Bible says, how we should be loving each other, how our relationship should be actually magnifying God's glory, all of these shenanigans that we do now, it is no glory. God is getting no glory out of it. The gram is blowing up. The fake book is getting more fakery. So social media is no actual social in it. It has just become a place where we actually get to actually feel less than. So for everybody who feels like today gotta be today, you need to actually assess your relationship and say, well, what has this person done for me in the last 364 days before today? What have they done for me for the last 5 years, 10 years? So do the math. Are you going to ruin a lifetime of blessings because you didn't get the bounty from one day? The bounty that is going to come for the rest of your life.
Well, I like to just tell everyone the doors of the church are open. And if you like to, you better preach. You better preach. If that wasn't the truth, oh my God. I mean, but the sad part, you want to know the sad part, the truth?
Let me know the truth. Come on, tell me the truth.
That's the truth. That's the truth, right? There are people, male and female, that no matter what you said right now, just like what we went through this last week, no matter what anybody said, they still think certain things. They don't look at 364 days. They think of that one day. And this is such great coaching and advice. Look at the big picture. Look at the big picture. And this goes for men too. Because we put a lot of effort on Valentine's Day, like Mother's Day. But without fathers, it couldn't be mothers.
Amen.
Right? But we put a lot of effort. But what about the guys? Why is it that we want them to show us they love us, but we don't? But we feel that we don't need to reciprocate and show them in some small way. You described your husband, and forgive me if I got it wrong. It's a man who's a simple man, a simple guy, okay? That just a down-to-earth, hard-working brother, okay? But if you came home with a brand new power drill, battery operated, in the little black case with all the little bits in there, and had it wrapped up, one of those Millers, because I understand those is top of the line, okay? Okay. That for no reason. And it's sitting there. He said, what is that? Oh, that's for you, baby. And you just walk out the room. And you, that's what it's all about. It's about reciprocation. Or even, if he's a fisherman or if he likes to read, we need to also love our men.
Yes.
No deposit, no return.
Amen. Insufficient funds.
NSF, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're not putting anything in, look, Grandma, can you take us to the ATM machine? Did you put anything in the ATM machine? Well, no, but no deposit. You pimping ain't easy, baby. Okay, so no deposit, no return. You can't keep asking men to do for you, and you can't keep asking women to do for you, and think it's going to be happily ever after. It has to be a partnership. Partnership and relationship, collaboration is that's the love. Yeah.
The collaboration, like you're talking about, is seeing that big picture. And a lot of times we don't discuss what that big picture is. What is it we're ultimately here together for? What is it that our ultimate actually destination is together? We're supposed to be getting somewhere. That's why we combine. And a lot of times most people join up together because they feel like you can lift them up and you can get them somewhere. And they felt like, oh, well, when you get me where I get, I'm gonna get off this ride. But see, that's the problem, is that person becomes tired of actually carrying you to that place, especially when they know you plan on jumping out on them. So the key in these relationships is to make sure the other person is not being worn out, that person is not being tired. Every once in a while, you're able to jump into the driver's seat and take over on that journey and allow them to have a little rest, be able to pay to put some fuel in the tank. And that's what these relationships we're talking about, when we're not talking about wanting needy women or we wanting needy men. And you were talking about this image thing on the outside a lot of times that we look for. This man in a suit, this man with all of these letters behind his name. Do you not understand you can put a man in a suit? Do you not understand that just because you saw that man on the bicycle and he was in his work clothes, tomorrow in that suit, he will look like a different man, all shaved up, all cleaned up? I mean, because that's like, if you all have seen my husband sometimes on his videos when he out working greasy, come up under the car. But I'm telling you, when y'all see him in a suit, he is the GQ man because he is buff. I can tell you, he is what they say, the
last word. He's the last word.
I said, I can tell you, I say he is a buff. What is the guy who do the on the cleaning commercial, the bald-headed guy, Mr. Clean?
Oh, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean, yeah, I got me a chocolate version of Mr. Clean, all bald, all buff, and all with the thing. So that's what I'm telling y'all. So don't judge the toolbox. And y'all are missing out on blessings because you have romanticized what romance really is. Let a man romance your spirit. Let a man romance your mind. I mean, the thing is, it is some of the most interesting things that can come out of his mouth that makes my mind just go, ooh, that was so beautiful. When he can say some things to me, and when he can read a scripture. That's what I'm saying. We have become so worldly on these tangible, hold it gifts that actually don't do any good past today. Because you want a new upgraded version of your ring in another 5 years anyway. You want some more jewelry, the chocolate ate up, and you complaining about the pounds you got from it anyway. The flowers that were bought today, they're going to be dead before next Sunday roll around. So get some things of substance that will be actually left. And that's the thing. We create memories. So when we do, death does us part. Death truly does us part. We'll have a toolbox of memories that will allow us, because remembering, oh, so-and-so bought me something, that's not what you're going to remember. You're going to remember what so-and-so taught you. You're going to remember how they talked to you, how they treated you, all of those things, not how they looked in a GQ suit versus on the bike on the subway station. It is going to be all of those memories that you create that you're going to truly be blessed by. And I'm telling you, if you have ever lost a loved one, you are blessed by the memories they leave you, not the stuff that they bought you, the things that they taught you. Those are the things that you can carry along with you, because all that other stuff you can't carry on with you for the rest of your life.
Well, one thing, again, the doors of the church is open, people. If one thing, join now. One thing is that have you ever, this is what my grandmother used to say. You all never seen a Brinks truck at the graveyard.
Nope.
Because you ain't taking none of that with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's and when you say Mary Wilson, 1944 to 2021, it's in the dash. It's in that little bitty dash. It's not the beginning or the end. It's all that in the middle of the feelings she left, the memories she left, right? With your first husband. It's what he left. And how you've had to navigate through that, through even maybe when you did find love again, not feeling guilty maybe sometime about even thinking about him or some of those memories, because now you're somebody else's is white. But those memories last forever. They don't go away. They're memory-making moments. And that's what we need. We need to appreciate each other. Women out here need to appreciate their men more. If you're single or married, go on date night. Yeah. Pick up the tab sometime. Don't always expect, don't say things like, oh, you wanted me to pay? If somebody has paid for you over and over and over again, and you've never picked up the tab and paid, like you said, you used the word wore them out. You wear people out. There's nothing left. So you have to value yourself, not put everything into just Valentine's Day. Put it into every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day it should be Valentine's Day. Every day should be Christmas. Yeah, it's a symbolic situation, but in the pandemic, if the pandemic has not taught us anything, it has taught us about loss.
Amen.
Loss. So if you have someone wonderful in your life, then you need to appreciate them while they're here. Because look, in the day we used to say tomorrow's not promised. Today's not promised. Today, I could get off this, God forbid, God forbid. People leave for work. There's ice storms, there's earthquakes, you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's important to value the person you're with. It's important to let people know while they're alive.
Yes.
That you care about them. I know that there's been situations where I have lost loved ones, friends, not necessarily relatives, but friends, and they may have called me and I was going to call them back and find out they were calling me, letting me know they were in the hospital and they had COVID. And I didn't call them back, but it was in a 2-day period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a phone call from somebody. I'm like, no, that's a lie. I saw it on Facebook. I'm like, what? And I called their number because I'm like, so you don't know. You don't know. I think that being the life coach and the person who talks about the relationship service station and being the mechanic, you've said a lot of amazing things, okay, to say the least, okay? What would you want people to really know that you feel has helped you? Now, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
You can leave the broadcast. I can't stop you. So this is we're talking about relationships and Valentine's Day, and I am not in a relationship. After I get off talking with you, I am going to go pick up my grandson who's 16 and take him and his little date on a Valentine's Day, and I'm dressed up because all dressed up and nowhere to go. But you are in a relationship. So what has Valentine's Day meant for you today?
Valentine's Day this is our Sunday. So this is a day that we kind of slow down and do the things that we need to do to take time together anyway. So Valentine's Day hasn't changed us in any way. It hadn't shifted what we do. Because one thing is, like I tell you, my husband loves on me every day. And I'm not talking about, we talking about all this romantic, sexual stuff. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not talking about, this lavishness, but he makes me first every day when I say that. So for me, we broke tradition a long time ago. That was one of the things that we were not going to do, get wrapped up in a tradition of texting people, calling people on holidays, and only on holidays. If I think of you, I'm going to call you today. I'm going to love you today. And those are the things we do for each other and other people in our circle of life. I don't get caught up in that particular hallmark, because we don't get caught up in spending money unnecessarily. We have some straight priorities in our lives. But what I want people to do is visualize yourself. When we talk about this relationship service station, I want everybody to visualize themselves as a vehicle, because we are one phenomenal vehicle that God has created us to be. Now, if we think about it, and Valentine's Day, is that the only day we get a tune-up? Is that the only day we clean our cars? Is that the only day we go inside and do the interior? That's just like showing this. We only show this vehicle love on this one day. That's the only day we provide fuel in it. So eventually we're going to wear down, because we cannot make it 364 days until we put some more fuel in it, till we clean it again. So those are the things that you're really doing when you magnify these holidays. You're saying, I'm only pouring into this vehicle on this one day. And the thing I want to tell everybody, because all of us are going to lose somebody. I want you to love the person that you truly can't live without, and that's you. If you can love the only person that you can't live without is you, you will attract so much love in your life, and you will negate everything else that does not belong in your life.
Wow.
And it will not come to you. It will be repelled by all the love, because people will say, you too high maintenance, you too confident, you too this. And I'll be like, great, great, great. Because if you don't want to be part of all this love, and you don't want the overflow of this love, that means you don't need to be in the vicinity of this love, because that means it's too much for you to handle. And that is what, if we realize, if we love the only person we can't live without, we pour our energy to everything, everybody else. We pour it into jobs. We pour it into our kids. We pour it into our spouses, mothers, fathers. Those people you can live without. You can live without them. We don't want to live without them.
Right.
You can. You are the only, and I said person, I'm not talking about God. You know you can't live without God, because he provides you breath. So before y'all start throwing stones and all that great stuff, I can't wake up without God. God is our ultimate source, our breath, our body. Hey, I am all about the I am, because the I am made me this great and wonderful vehicle. But I don't want you to lose focus on you. This vehicle is what you need to understand. Bless it every day. Clean it every day. Fuel it every day, so that it can keep on the journey. And that means whoever want to ride with you, you will be in the best condition to ride with them.
Doors of the church are open. Okay, so look. So what I heard you say basically is, not only does your relationship require tune-ups all through the year, or to keep it going, tune yourself up.
Yes.
Keep yourself tuned up.
Yes.
If you want better, you got to do better. You can't keep asking folks to do better than what you're bringing, right?
Yes.
So we don't want to keep ourselves operating at its optimum performance. We want to operate below optimum level, but we want our mates to be full speed ahead. But we're not full speed ahead. We're not even, we're idling. We're just there. We just
in park.
That's what we in park, and we want, and almost what comes after park is reverse. Okay. Okay. We're almost going backwards. We definitely don't want to be in neutral. We want to drive. That's a good analogy. We did good there. That was good. Yeah. We don't want to be idle. We want to move forward, and you cannot move forward in a relationship if you don't understand the true value of a relationship. And again, Valentine's Day, I think we've come to a conclusion of it isn't love. It's a display, but that does not define the person or the relationship. I think that, I mean, we will look at what you said is like more than on point. Because I have not really looked at Facebook really today. A couple times, what did I see? Candy, cologne, flowers, this, that. I didn't see no Rolls Royce, but I did see. I'm just saying. Okay, so, but I'm just saying, I mean, but there will be, we'll go to some of those folks' pages and they'll have the Rolls and the Bentleys and stuff. But if somebody gave me a Babe Ruth and said, Happy Valentine's Day, baby, I may not look like I would be happy. And see, that's the other thing. People sometimes define you the way you're not. So people want to define me as thinking I'm high maintenance. High maintenance means to me that I'm not able to take care of myself. Mm-hmm. If I'm able to take care of myself, then I'm not high maintenance. High maintenance means I'm expecting you to take care of me. If I'm taking care of myself, then, or people say to me things like this, well, you have everything. Really? Okay. No, I don't. So people also don't need to assume. Buy somebody a card, get them a gift. Don't let that define the relationship. No, that may not be love, but that may be indeed appreciation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Because just because you feel like somebody has everything, what I don't have is a little appreciation from you today. That's the thing, that simple little appreciation. And that's what I'm saying. It is not a holiday. It's something that's set aside. It's not something that we should necessarily ignore, but we should not make it the breaking point of our relationship. We should know the priorities. We should have discussed our expectations. And this day should not be an ultimatum to pressure people into doing what other people do, or a checkpoint. Men and women, quit calling your friends and asking them what they bought so that you can compare. Don't do it. I mean, don't have a comparison. Just let's stop the conversation. I mean, it would be lovely if everybody just posted a picture of them and their spouse and say love. You don't have to post. You don't have to post a gift. You don't have to post anything else. You don't have to do any videos. Just say love. Love, love, love. And love on that person tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. Don't let it be next February 14th before we even hear that you still have a mate again.
Or if we even knew about them in the first place. Well, how can we find you? And tell us, it's now it's your turn to tell everyone on how can we find Cortne Lee Smith, life coach. Give us your information.
Cortne Lee Smith can be found really easily. I am at the Relationship Service Station. I'm at the Relationship Service Station on the website. You can .com me. You can Relationship Service Station me on Facebook. So that's where you can find me. And I actually did a collaboration, Dr. Clarice, what we're talking about right now, self-love. And my chapter was actually about loving the person you cannot live without, because that was a lesson I had to learn after I lost my spouse. Because I think people believe, like you say, that you have everything because people believe that you're a certain type of person. They be like, oh, well, you're a young woman, so you won't have no problems. Everybody else don't know that you don't have that same self-confidence that they think that you have, Because y'all have to understand, I had grown kids, I had teenage kids, I had little kids, and I was like, whoo, finding a man ain't gonna be real easy on this stretch. You know what I'm saying? And you not young as people think you are. So there are a lot of things that's going on in your mind that you got to re-love yourself, get another level of self-confidence about yourself so you can define happiness for yourself. So people that are going through this single trick women, Men, we really need to learn how to transition from that we concept that we have so we can be the best me version of ourselves. So y'all can jump on any page of mine. I would love to talk with you all, have a conversation with you all, continue this love conversation.
But we're going to do this again. And I'm in our collaboration. My chapter is taking your great to greater.
All right.
Right? You know, because we're great, but sometimes we need to come out of neutral. Okay.
Amen.
And put it in even S, supercharged. So I want to invite you back. I want you to come back again and talk about grief processing and the impact of COVID-19. I cannot thank you enough. This has been amazing, truly amazing. I truly enjoyed it. My show is The Pain of Change with Dr. Clarice, but what it also is interesting conversations with interesting people. And that's what I really, really love, because it has to be interesting. You know, we can't just sit up and chit chat and chit. But this was a very interesting conversation. I think it's most needed. I think that women and men alike have to understand how to appreciate each other and love each other and respect each other every day. So, Cortne, is there anything you'd like to really say as we end?
I like your statement, and actually Lisa Harwell liked it too. She said, "Come out of neutral." But I want people to understand, neutral. Sometimes you need to have 4-wheel drive, because there are going to be some dirty things that you're gonna have to get through. There are gonna be some mountains you need to climb. It's gonna be some sludge you need to be able to make it through. So you need to make sure your vehicle has a 4-wheel, got a tow package. We got to stop trying to be so pretty going through the process, and allow God to use us through the process, because the change is a pain, because it's taking us to someplace new we have never been. And I want to see all of you all in your new best place. So in your new place, best place, get into 4-wheel, get into gear, and we're going to all move, like Dr. Clarice said, to that greater place, because we all got a greater calling. We all need to get greater in our assignments, to get clear on our assignments, and get outside of playing small and living for what used to be, and get out to what it is that we are called to do right now.
Amen. The doors of the church are open. I just say thank you, Cortne Lee Smith. And thank you for taking us today to victory from the pain of change. Until the next time, everybody, thank you for supporting me. Thank you, Cortne Lee Smith, for being my guest. And we all say farewell, good night. Happy Valentine's Day to all. And remember, no deposit, no return. Take it out of neutral, put it in super drive, and head on to your next level. Good night. In these days of pain, things will change. It's the same.